What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Shelty, the snake Shelton. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. This is a best of 5 for the Vubly Champions League Season 2 playoffs. Quarterfinals. It starts in the quarterfinals, but that's after all the group stages. These players have battled through 5 grueling weeks. 5 grueling weeks of 1v1s to get to this point. Shelty coming through top seed, I believe, of his division, and Rapl coming in 4th seed of his division. So we'll see how these guys are going to go here. We've got Poseidon versus Odin on the map Borderlands. Borderlands is the map. It's one of those special maps, and in the playoffs, one of the unique things about the Champions League is we try and kind of push the more unique maps for the tournaments, simply on the fact that they haven't been played on very much, and they can produce some really, really interesting and diverse games. This map here, Borderlands, it's got the single forest through the middle of the map, separating the 2 town centers. However, what this means is the town centers are quite close to each other. They are a screen length apart. I can see the blue town center over here and the red town center over here in one screen length. That's how close everything is. So it's a very aggressive map. And playing Poseidon here is an interesting choice from Shelty. I'm expecting to see him go for an Ares rush here. That's the only thing that makes any real sense going Poseidon in this matchup. We'll see what he's going to pull out. Rapl, obviously, Odin main. Odin one trick. Doesn't play anything other than Odin on the Titans. And he's made it this far in the tournament just playing Odin. That just goes to show how good and how solid Odin can be in the current meta. You can also see how many berry bushes come on this map. You get 12 berry bushes. It's a ton of food. Absolute crazy amount there. And we haven't seen Shelty throw down his temple just yet. So if it is an Ares rush, it's going to be a delayed Ares rush. So the temple is now coming down for Rapl, obviously wanting to get to the next stage fairly quickly now. While I say that this is a very aggressive map, it's also a very raid heavy map. And the point is that all of the hunt that spawns on Borderlands spawns behind your base, if it spawns at all. Which means it's far away from your base. Your opponent can build some stables, some raiding cavalry, some hippocon come around, hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this. Very difficult to defend. One wall on this side here will shut it down, as well as the top, but then you have to defend very long wall pieces. It can be very easy to break through those. We'll see what's going to happen. We do have the Theseus coming out. Temple is up, but it's on top of the wood here. Maybe Shelty trying to bait out a forest fire to open this up, and we see Ares at 331 and Freya at 330. 21 pop for Shelty, 17 villagers, and Rapl at 15 villagers. So slightly behind on the villager count, but no surprises there, as he is Norse. You're always going to fall slightly behind on those villagers early on and then catch back up later. And the fact that your dwarves do gather with an extra, It's 0.2 gather speed faster than a villager, a Greek villager. So it's a big bonus to have those dwarves, and being behind only 2 villagers kind of makes it pretty much even at this point. And Freya is the god of choice for Rapl. So not going through Heimdall. No real surprises there. The Valkyrie in this matchup can be really, really strong and important. We see the Cataclysm coming in, helping out with the Theseus, going to be harassing this hunt as best as he can. And Rapl is not going to be dealing with this all too well. You kind of need to bring the villagers in and just start jabbing away at the Theseus. He's going to have to run this villager home. She's actually at 21 HP remaining, slowly getting taken out. The Theseus basically deals its full damage, 9.9, maybe 9 damage in the Archaic Age. There's the Longhouse going up. He knows it's Ares. He sees the temple over here. He sees the Cyclops coming through. And the two Hearths are going to attempt to deal some damage onto the Thesis. Every single bit of damage that these heroes take is a complete waste in the long run, because they will heal it back up. You can see very slowly it heals up. I think it's like 1 health every 3 seconds or something if it's working. Could be wrong. 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. So doesn't take too long to reheal, especially if it's sitting idle. But now the Cyclops making its way in. We've got stables, double stable from Shelty. Surprised to see him not go with any Toxotes in this matchup. That's such a huge unit. We see the Ursos microing nicely, pulling back the Valkyrie, searching for some raids over here. This is going to be huge for Rapl, because all of the heroes are forward now. Though he is dealing damage to Rapl as well. The Cyclops actually going to choose to try and chase these down, but if these villagers keep moving, that Cyclops is never going to deal any damage. But now the Valkyrie going after this villager. Shelty does micro that one away. He can attack the Valkyrie with some Hippocon here. Potentially a Forest Fire over here might be of use, but I think you should hold on to it for a nice usage a little bit later. We see the villagers going to be retreating back into the main base. Do we see any husbandry coming through for Rapl? Not just yet. He's got the resources for it, but he's not grabbed it. We do see the Cyclops has picked up one of those Ulfsarks, sends that into the villagers. Look at the damage, the splash damage onto those villagers. They're almost all dead, and now we see almost one dying. Doesn't quite get it. Oh, it does get away there with 1 HP. Tons of low HP units there. The Cyclops does end up falling. This villager will fall as well. Hippolyta are going to attempt to retreat away. It does have to walk around that wall and is out of here, but 44 population for Shelty to 40 population for Rapl, grabbing a Lone Wanderer here. We are seeing the Hippolyta trying to snipe another Dwarf over here. Almost gets it at 24 to 19 villagers. We do see the Valkyrie has spotted some of Shelty's villagers just finishing up hunting over here, and that's unfortunate because he's going to easily retreat those back home, and he's going to be onto those cows now and be completely fine with that. Now he's got some more raiders coming onto the top side, distracting at the bottom. Really nice. Leaving this relic behind, the Ring of Nibelung. Actually, very strong relic there to grab. Definitely worth it. Any favorite trickle or any resource trickle, always good. We do see the Valkyrie has come back. Going to be sniping one villager here. And, oh, no, not quite. Nice reaction from Shelty. He should probably bring that low HP villager back home and just leave that one in his base, because otherwise the Valkyrie will find it and snipe it. Meanwhile, the Ulfsark's coming over here, going to attempt to defend his hunt. He can move up onto the caribou. He can move over onto the board. Just depends on which one he wants to check out there. And now the villagers making their way up there. And Shelty on the bottom side of the map and in the top side of the map as well. We are seeing the Valkyrie getting some snipes here on the straggler units. Really smart play from Rapl, getting super value out of this this Valkyrie. Now dealing some damage to the Valkyrie. And the Valkyrie's just going to retreat back and be fine and dandy. And now the Ulfsark starting to get a little bit scary. 64 population from Rapl has moved up to the top caribou. Let's check out if Shelty knows about this. He does see there's caribou up there, so he may hit that a little bit later if he's checking around what's going on. The Valkyrie is going to be chasing these villagers, these Toxotes away, but he's going to get sniped by the Hippocon, or pretty much sniped by the Hippocon, going down to 30 HP, 20 HP, almost falling. Meanwhile, the army moving in. We see, oh no, that's not the forest fire you want to see. He thought he might have had a trap there. If he'd moved an Ulfsark around the back and building trap those units, then that could have been huge, but he doesn't go for it. Meanwhile, the Valkyrie heading back into the base of Shelty here. Is maybe the Hippocon going to chase it down? Maybe the Valkyrie going to chase down a Toxote. We'll see how that's going to go. Rapples with 500 gold left on that gold mine. Hippolyta and Toxotes going to sniper her. So nice play there. And really, Rapl struggling to produce units here. He's housed, and he's taking this fight. He sort of has to take this fight. The Valkyrie coming back in, and very low HP remaining on that one there. The Ulfsark's doing a nice job, but these are medium Hippocons, so they're going to tank for a very long time. And it's looking as if Shelty not quite able to take this fight. Too many Ulfsark here for Rapl, who's sitting at 60 population to Shelty's 70 population. There's still a lot of blue units here, though. Maybe a lot of Shelty units are a little bit straggling. being left behind, but it is looking like the fight is ongoing. The Poles are about to get sniped here. More units falling here, and Shelty will have to retreat, dropping down to 53 population, and Rapl's actually leveled this playing field here. Really, really nice play from Rapl in order to stay alive here. It looked as if Shelty had a bit of an advantage there, but he's managed to make that advantage go away. So this is huge for Rapl. The problem for Rapl here is going to be running out of food up the top, and then having to deal with the gold mine. So he can send these villagers, or he's going to eat the cow, but he can send these villagers over onto the boar and onto the gold mine with his dwarves, and then easily defend both. So we'll see how that's going to work. Shelty's still trying to put pressure on. He's still got a lot of cows left, but it's looking as if, well, he has some boar, so he's probably going to be able to get to the next age. Generally speaking, in this matchup, in this situation, you kind of want to go straight to the Mythic Age as Poseidon. You use that curse on those low HP Ulfsark in order to slow down their tech, and then you can hit a Artemis timing and get a big earthquake and make life very difficult for the Norse players. But Shelty, he's not really 100% sure where he should be attacking here. He should know that this gold mine is gone by now, and he does know that it's gone, so he's looking for a gold mine. Clearly, the only gold mine that Shelty should be thinking that Rapl has got is this one at this point, because if you look at what he's seen, he doesn't see the gold mine at the top. He knows there's one here, he knows one's here, so he's going to come around and just check them both. And what is Rapl at this point? He's making some raiding cavalry. He's making, he's pretty much just pure raiding cavalry at this point. It's, again, an advantageous population situation here for Shelty. The units running straight by these villagers coming back. They may be jumping onto the berry bushes. Very risky play for them to be there, and Shelty does notice it, bringing those units back. See the Hippocon coming over onto the house, but Rapl is going to get us around here. Maybe box command or something, in order to get those Toxotes safe. Now he just manages to micro that one well. The problem here is that Rapl kind of needs to get a surround on the Toxotes. The Ulfsark do technically beat the Toxotes in a one-on-one battle, especially with the 5.28 speed. They're doing 9.9 damage a second. The Toxotes are doing 6.5 damage and 60 HP versus 88 HP, obviously. The Ulfsark do win, but if they're not attacking the Toxotes are just dealing free DPS. That's the big thing. And we do see the units coming around the back, and now Rapl's got what seems to be a decent attack here, but he needs to get onto those Toxotes. Shelty keeps making these fights incredibly well for himself, putting those Toxotes in the back of his army. However, there is a flood of units coming in here for Rapl at this point, but it's 109 population for Shelty. Shelty going after the Oxcart, going to be taking down the Oxcart there. The Dwarves going to be turning around and fighting that one there. We do see that Rapl has managed to basically clean up this Greek army of Shelty. Got a lot of Dwarf losses here. A lot of gold income has been slowed down. It's 43 villages to 30 villages. Shelty with an absolute crazy advantage on the economy right now, and he has started farming a little bit. He's got all these berries to eat. He's got a ton of villagers on gold back here. 20 villagers on gold. That's a questionable move, considering he's really got nothing he can spend gold on at this point. So he needs to sort that one out. Otherwise, his gold's going to shoot up to about 1,000, while the rest of his resources stay very, very low. Now we see another Oxcart coming back, and we've only got 5 dwarves here on this gold mine. It looks as though maybe Shelty got some big damage over here as well, as that fight was going on. And now Shelty moving back in. There's a really low amount of units here for Rapl. And this gold mine is about to be pushed off of as the Ulfsark coming in here to fight this one. We see the Hippocon able to deal with these raiding cavalry fairly well, and the Ulfsark slowly taking down Hippocon. They don't really have any bonuses against cavalry, while they are technically a counter because the cavalry have a low hack armor. They don't tend to be that big of a counter, in all honesty. But the Hippocon coming through, and Rapl does tap out in the 13-minute mark. GG. Nice play from Shelty. The pressure just too much for Rapl to handle. There was a point here where Rapl was equal. He equalized after all the damage was done early, and then he sort of threw it by veering away from the Ulfsark. I think his only chance here was to just pump Ulfsark out and try and get good fights, good engagements, surround those Toxotes, surround from both sides and get all of that surface area with those Ulfsark. If he did that, I think he would have won the fights a little bit more cleanly. The problem for Rapl is he's going to be running out of food. He's got berries, he's got boar, and he didn't eat the boar. That was kind of vital. And there's probably some more elk somewhere. No, it's kind of all the food he had. But it's a tough one for him here. And Shelty does execute the Ares Rush, or delayed Ares Rush, I guess, very, very well. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.